Are you really ready? Can you ever be fully ready? The factors that influence behavior change have been thoroughly researched. The Transtheoretical model and its easy to follow steps towards change make it one of the simplest to follow. The TTM stages of change are pre-contemplation, not yet acknowledging that there is a problem that needs to be changed. You might say things like, I don't see a problem with what I'm doing. There's no reason to change anything. This is where perhaps well-meaning but critical family or friends will offer their advice about how you need to do something. This doesn't usually work and often just results in conflict because the person isn't ready to hear it or act upon it. The better approach is to simply express love and empathy without the advice. I care about you and I want you to be healthy, and then to change the subject. The second step is called contemplation. You may acknowledge that there is a problem, but are still not yet ready or lacking in the confidence to make it happen. You might say something like, I know I have a problem, and I think I should do something about it. The ambivalence and indecisiveness that occurs in this stage can cause people to remain in contemplation for 6 months or more. In general, people in this stage are more open to receiving information regarding their behaviors and finding solutions to correct them, but likely aren't going to do anything with it yet. Once again, the best kind of support you can give someone in this stage is expressing love and empathy. Then, only if you want to, asking for consent to talk about their habits. Would you like to talk about your relationship with exercise? Be ready for the no, and look within yourself to decide when you've had enough and it's time to either change the subject or have some time for yourself. Step 3 is preparation or determination, getting ready to change. This is an exciting place for us coaches to help improve your chances of success. You might say something like, I've got to do something about this. This is serious. Something has to change. What can I do? The direct question from the person is the invitation in for someone that might be able to help them. Important to note that people are generally still quite sensitive during this preparation time. There is vulnerability in acknowledging you want to change, but not having acted upon it yet or knowing how to. Depending on the feedback and support they get, it can build confidence or have them cycling back to preparation. I need to rethink my plan. Might be a thing if the feedback they get is critical rather than affirming. Step 4 is action. Let's change some behavior. Whoa, you're already doing the work. You're rewriting your internal narrative about who you are and what you're capable of in so many ways. You might say things like, it's easy to say you'll quit smoking, but I'm doing something about it. I haven't smoked a cigarette in 4 months. Early success will be critical here. It's all about setting the bar appropriately so you can feel accomplishments happening regularly, which repeatedly validate your choice to take action in the first place, that the coach, community, or training plan you chose is the right one. Maintenance. Just maintaining, cruising, sounds really nice. It is the desired state to get to, but it's not always easy to get there. Maintaining behavior change is a certain kind of steadiness that can emerge with enough time and repetition. It becomes more natural for you to just keep lifting the weights, keep doing your cardio, keep living healthfully, than to go back to the way things were before for you. You might say something like, it's my routine. It's just a part of who I am. I just like the way exercise makes me feel. From the outside looking in, the casualness of their presentation can make it seem like it's always been easy for them. But the truth is, they may not even know themselves how they came to be where they are now, or to be able to communicate it well. Our memory is highly subjective and foggy at best unless well documented, aka one of the many things we often don't have the time for. It's in our nature to simply forget many of the detailed and nuanced facets of learning our own behavior, how specifically we overcame adversity in various circumstances, and or had lots of support along the journey. It's also socially easier to make light of our accomplishments rather than do a deep dive. Part of the beauty of mastery and maintenance is the mystery. At any rate, it's super important to practice patience with the realization of maintenance. Depending on the action or habit, it could take up to 6 months or more for it to become maintenance for you. Because we come from a culture of imagined independence and competition, there is a constant pressure to not need support or to stop needing it as soon as possible and a sort of race to get to the maintenance stage quickly to pretend as if the healthy behaviors have always come naturally for you. This is not reality, but the pressure remains, so it will be important to consciously work to diffuse and redirect it towards something more interdependent and real. We all need varying degrees of support and care throughout our lives. There is no shame in it. It's not a zero-sum game. What do I do with these stages of change? The stages of change are useful for understanding where you are at in this moment and where you might go, or whether you might just stay right where you are for now. At each stage, there are pros and cons of the prospective changes to consider. In general, the further one progresses through the stages, the more the pros outweigh the cons for them. If you're in a poor health state or trajectory right now, we hope you can find a way to engage with health-promoting behaviors because there are some big pros to be had, right? But you might be contemplative still, so it can only happen on your terms. When you feel truly like the scary cons aren't scary enough to stop you from trying. Consciousness raising information like this video, in addition to just changes in your circumstances, may be the helpful catalyst to shift this balance. The ultimate goal of TTM is to create an action plan that will assist in preventing relapse, very therapeutic and big picture oriented. Think about it in the context of all the interesting goals you set along the way, and it might become clear why trauma-informed, non-competitive ways of organizing your process are so important. The goal isn't to deadlift a certain weight milestone, though that might be fun to achieve. It's to maintain this new way of being as a lifestyle, even if it means a less rapid PR crushing process. It may be hard to imagine if you've been exercising regularly for years, but maybe there was a time in your life when you weren't. We want to get to a point where relapsing to that lifestyle seems really uninviting and unlikely, while also acknowledging that it was a part of your journey that makes you who you are today. Try to understand that it is natural to move somewhat fluidly between these stages. It's not all forward progress. Today, I'm a determined action taker. Tomorrow, I may be contemplating again. In different areas of our lives, we can be totally action-based, and in others feel really stuck and uncertain on how to proceed. Of course, as coaches and healers, we want people we care for to get to action and then maintenance because that's where health, happiness, and longevity are. But for something to happen for you, we can't want it more than you do. It needs to come first from within. Trauma and stress keep people stuck in familiar behavior patterns that may seem irrational from the outside looking in, but in someone's body makes total sense. It is so important for you to engage with this work on this while speaking kindly to yourself and making peace that it's likely going to be the journey of a lifetime.